Jim, that's a difficult one to stomach given how much we dominated that second half, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's really difficult to accept defeat right now. It's a game that I don't think we should ever lose, and had we came off with a point, I think we would have been disappointed. Given what we put into the game, I thought first half we had plenty of control. We showed a really good positive reaction from going a goal behind. Scored a really well worked goal from our perspective. Sam Dalby getting on the end of a Trapanovsky cross. The second half, Motherwell dominated probably the opening 5, maybe 10 minutes of the second half, but thereafter that, I thought when we made the changes, we were playing the majority of the game in Motherwell's territory. They hit us on the counter attack 2 or 3 occasions, but apart from that, I thought we were in control. And the second goal, it's hard to get your head around it. Sometimes these things happen. Players make mistakes. I thought we should have dealt with it earlier instead of letting the ball bounce a couple of times. And credit to the Motherwell player, he doesn't give up on it, but it's a situation that we need to deal with a lot better.
Dwell on the individual error too much, but Manny's got a couple of senior defenders in there that I'm sure will pick him up, because that might knock his confidence a wee bit.
Look, these things can happen. Players can score own goals and giving away penalties and what have you. And unfortunately, tonight Manny has made an error that's cost us dearly. Obviously, he knows that. He doesn't need me to stand here throwing him under the bus. At the end of the day, these things can happen in professional football, even at this level. I thought he was terrific against Aberdeen. Defended brilliantly. Just tonight, whether it's a lapse in concentration or what have you, unfortunately we've been punished for a mistake.
Is the most frustrating thing about when it happened, given that we had the game by the scruff of the neck at that point?
Especially given how dominant we were at that point, and we were trying to, obviously we made the changes on around about the hour mark, and wanted to get the ball forward a little bit earlier. We've got 2 big target men up there trying to get the midfield up and support, and then get the ball wide to Strain and Ferry, and try and get crosses in the box. And the goal ultimately comes from that. Us putting a ball in the box, Motherwell player just clearing it on the 18-yard line, and then the rest happens, unfortunately. But it's not a game I could ever have seen as losing. Jack Walton, hasn't had a great deal to do in our goal. It's not like he's had lots of saves to make. We had 1 or 2 good chances in the first half, and then we had a couple bouncing around the box in the second half that we weren't quite able to get good enough contact on. But credit to Motherwell, they defend their box really, really well. Very aggressive in those situations, and I think the frustration from our point of view is just the manner of those 2 goals.
It was another big performance from Sam Dalby. Is that maybe one of the few positives to come out of tonight? Is how he's stepped up to the plate in the absence of Louis Moult?
Absolutely. Obviously we've had to go without Multi now for a number of weeks, and Sam has led the line brilliantly. Obviously we make the change with a half an hour to go, trying to win the game, and trying to give Motherwell 1 or 2 other questions to have to think about, as opposed to having to play with 1 up against him. 2 physical strikers, and Sam's done great. He's among the goals now, which is brilliant. And as I said, it was a really well worked goal from our point of view. We do great to get the ball out the trap. Does brilliant in the 1v1, and it's a really well timed header. But it's a sore one tonight. To lose the game is extremely disappointing.
There's probably a couple of refereeing decisions that you'll want to touch on. There was a shirt pull on Vichko Savelj just about 20 minutes into the second half that looked quite damning from a Motherwell perspective, and then the decision to add on only 3 minutes at the end of the game, and apparently not all of it was played as well.
I've got to take the VAR's decision not to look at Vichko's penalty incident. We felt he was dragged back in the box. I haven't had a chance to watch it back yet, but the added on time for me is just bizarre. There must have been 7 or 8 substitutions in the second half. When Motherwell go 2-1 up, there's still plenty of time left on the clock for us to go and try and get an equaliser, and the goalkeeper must have been taking at least half a minute to get the ball back in play. So these things, you're hoping that VAR and the referee are aware of. And I was expecting 7 or 8 minutes, and we were really throwing everything at them at that point. And it's just those kind of things are out with our control, I suppose.
Probably makes it doubly frustrating as well that, given our exploits in the past few weeks and stoppage time, that we are capable of going and getting the result in those dying embers.
Yeah, I mean, look, the team never give up. That's one thing I could never say about them. They keep going right to the end. We know the players that we've got missing at the moment. We've got a few lads in there at the moment that are not playing at 100%. Hence why we make the change with Trapanovsky. Obviously, the hamstring issue that he's got. We tried to freshen up the midfield. We've got 3 games in a week, 3 important games in a week, and we're asking a lot of those players who are available to us. So, we're trying to make changes along the way during games to try and keep players fresh for the next one, and obviously not weaken the team. And I thought, we finished the game strongly. We threw everything at Motherwell. Full credit to them. They defended their box brilliantly, but it's disappointing because we've shown in games gone by, like Kilmarnock, like Hibs, that we will keep going right to the dying moments, and we've had success in the past. Unfortunately tonight we just never got the break of the ball. Yeah,
you mentioned some of those players that are missing, but one of the good things about that trip to Easter Road is we're likely to have a couple of reinforcements in the form of Ross Graham and Louis Moult.
Well, we're hopeful that is the case. We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. We need to see how those 2 guys are back in full contact training, and we'll put them through their paces in the next 3 days, and hopefully they both come through those situations unscathed. And if they do, then they'll be available, and will play a part in the game on Sunday.
Despite the last couple of games obviously ending in defeat, I'm sure we'll still go there with confidence, given the fact that we've turned them over so recently.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Aberdeen performance, I said after the game that Aberdeen were better, and they're flying, they're having an amazing season. Obviously they got another fantastic result tonight against Rangers. I felt on the day we defended really resiliently, and again a real scrappy goal from our point of view, a ball into the box. That falls kindly to them in the middle of the 6-yard box. Tonight, again, I thought tonight was a different game to the one we saw at Pittodrie at the weekend. We had a lot of control in the game. We had more goal attempts tonight than we've probably had in a number of weeks. We just unfortunately couldn't capitalise on it. But it's a game that we should, at the worst, be coming away with a point. It's just such a shame to lose it like we did.
There's obviously a feeling of disappointment at the moment, but I believe that's the first time that we've lost 2 league games back to back since May 2023. Does that just show how far that we've come in that time since you've come to the club?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a great spirit and the character within the group, and of course the boys are hurting in there tonight. As I said, put a lot into the game, and we don't feel that we deserved to lose the game. I like to think I'm quite honest after games, and if Motherwell passed us off the park and Jack Walton had numerous saves to make, then I would be quite able to say we were beaten by the better team. But I didn't think that was the case tonight. Some people might look at it and think a draw was possibly a fair result, but I think about it in terms of possession and all the important stats that we talk about, those key metrics of penalty area entries and shots and goal attempts. I think we're ahead in all of those areas, just didn't take advantage, unfortunately.